Hello, my name is Evan Eckert here with another Evan Talks video, and today we're going to be talking about what the Cardinals have been doing since the All-Star break and what they plan to do during the trade deadline, because we've heard some rumors recently. But anyways, let's get into it. The Cardinals have not looked great coming out of the All-Star break, resulting in a 3-8 record since coming out of it, and they're about to be 3-9 after tonight's loss, most likely because they went down 7-0 early in the first 2 innings of the ball game. What we saw before this ball game was we saw Hunter Dobbins get sent. He got sent back down to AAA Memphis after his performance after piggybacking off of Matthew Liberatore's start yesterday, giving up 4 runs, finishing the game with about 4 or 5 innings. We selected Peter Strzelecki. He was pitching for the Diamondbacks and the Brewers before this. Not this year, but those teams in the past. And so you'll most likely see him in tonight's game if the game keeps on looking like this. But anyways, exactly what I said. They're 3-8 out of the All-Star break. They've had devastating losses, and their wins have not been great wins. One of the wins have been a 1-0 win, 1-0 score. So they can't hit, they can't pitch, and it's just all coming apart. And when they get good starts from Kyle Leahy, or when they got good starts from Michael McGreever or Andre Palante, they haven't capitalized on that. They're not able to score like the other day against the Reds. They were Kyle Leahy gave up 2 runs. They were winning. They scored 2 runs. Kyle Leahy pitched a heck of a game, and nobody was able to score until the 10th inning, where the Reds went up 3-0. Took 3 runs off of Matt Swanson, who's just looked terrible this year. The bullpen is terrible. The rotation has fallen apart, and the role guys are not supporting the core cast of Jordan Walker, J.J. Weatherholt, Alec Burleson, and Ivan Herrera. Everybody else is not supporting them, so it just looks like a pitiful offense. And even some of the core guys have not been hitting well. Ivan Herrera for the past month has not looked good until the past couple games. Since that Red series, he looked pretty good, but since then he was terrible. Alec Burleson has obviously been good. Jordan Walker's still getting on base, and J.J. Weatherholt has kind of hit a slump, but he's still J.J. But Lars Nootbaar, Mason Wynn, Nathan Church, Brian Torres, Nelson Velasquez, all have been absolutely terrible. Lars Nootbaar is supposed to be the 5th hitter, protecting whoever's batting 4th. It's been Ivan Herrera recently, but before Jordan Walker, he's not protected them, so he's subject to trade, which we'll get into. Mason Wynn has looked terrible. Nathan Church had that 0-for-30 stretch. Blaze Jordan, I think, has looked a little better. I like Blaze Jordan's approach with runners in scoring position. He's tied with the Cardinals' lead of sac flies, so he's able to put the ball in play when need be. Jimmy Crooks, he doesn't have the numbers, but he's hitting the ball hard, and they're hard line drives and fly balls. So I think you just need to get him more playing time, and he'll look good, which I think it will happen. Again, we'll talk about in a second. And Pedro Pajes has been terrible, obviously. Jose Fermin, personally, I have not been a fan. He's obviously having his best year offensively, but the defense has lost you a couple games already. And from a bench guy, defense should not be a reason why you lose games. And he's lost multiple games because of his defense. And Nelson Velasquez has just looked terrible against lefties. All of a sudden, you can't buy a hit. He was supposed to be the guy that you platoon against lefties, and he makes you a formidable force against lefties. Now he's been terrible. And then Brian Torres has been okay the past couple of days, but he has an average around 200, the Mendoza line. So it's just, all in all, he's batting 221. But all in all, it's just not the best look for the Cardinals. They now have this 18.4% chance to make the postseason. So that has dropped drastically since then, and they have fallen to 500 after last night's game. And it looks like they're about to fall under 500 for the first time this year. The bullpen, if we can talk about the bullpen, we've seen blow-ups from Riley O'Brien. We've seen blow-ups from Ryan Stanek. All of them, I feel like we've seen a blow-up. And the only one that's actually been pitching well, I feel like recently, has maybe been Justin Brule. But the bullpen can't hold games now. So, yeah, it's just been terrible. And they've been trying to figure out that last spot with Scott Blewett, who they just did trade. They threw in Matt Strzelecki this year. They're about to throw him, Strzelecki. And then Hunter Dobbins has taken that spot. But my personal opinion, I believe you have enough arms in the AAA system, the AAA team, to take over a couple spots in your rotation. I believe Matthew Liberatore, he should be done as a starting pitcher. I know everybody, he's just not good. I know they've been saying it's a rebuild year. This is the main thing, but he is just terrible. He has a 5.26 ERA. His metrics all look terrible. He has a negative .4 WAR. He strikes people out, but then he also gives up the big inning. So he's just not a serviceable starter. So I believe you throw him in the bullpen. That gives you a second lefty. We don't have a second lefty right now with Romero on the shelf. You put Liberatore in the bullpen. You either call up, you got Matt Motts, Quinn Matthews, and Hunter Dobbins, who can all take a start. And Hunter Dobbins didn't look good yesterday. Or I didn't really watch, but he gave up 4 runs, so I can't expect it to be that good. But I trust Hunter Dobbins more than I trust Matthew Liberatore, seeing him pitch every 5th day. I trust Quinn Matthews has been dominating in the minors. After a great start earlier, he struck out 7, I believe. He's been looking good. He's been cutting down the walks as well. And then Bryson Motts has a around 3 ERA in the Memphis right now. So I think those guys can take the rotation spot. I would want to see Quinn Matthews maybe, but I don't think Matthew Liberatore should have a starting role anymore. We talked about that in earlier videos, but I think he should be moved down to the bullpen. He shouldn't be cut by any means. He's still a serviceable pitcher. He still has the years and the contract. Just throw him in the bullpen, see how that happens, and then you figure it out from there. But he's not a starter. That's what we've learned for the past 2 years. But anyways, now to the trade deadline, which obviously the Cardinals are selling, which we've seen recently. There were reports out that the Cardinals are obviously going to be shopping Dustin May. And, of course, we've been hearing the rumors about Romero and Ryan Stanek because they're all going to be free agents after this year. But we've not yet seen a trade, seen them offering up Ivan Herrera, which is a crazy one. Is the new big one on the market. We got reports today that Ivan Herrera is on the market, and it's interesting to see. He still has years. He's arbitration eligible 2027, and he's a free agent in 2030. So to the 2029 season, he'll be a Cardinal. He is a this year his numbers have been dwindling. He has a 113 OPS plus on the year, so he's 13% above league average. He has a 244 batting average, a 365 on base percentage, so he gets on base at 380 slugging. He's not slugging as much as he did last year, but last year he had a 137 OPS plus, so 37% better than a league average hitter. He was batting 284, 373 on base, and a 464 slugging. I think a lot of those numbers have dwindled because he's been playing every single game. I think if they were to give him more rest days, then he would be hitting a little bit better. But he's obviously shown that he's been a good bat. In 2024, he was a 301 average, a 372 on base percentage, 428 slugging, and an 800 OPS with a 126 OPS plus. So he has been a above league average hitter every year he's played, except his first year where he played like 3 games. So he's shown that he's a serviceable hitter. He has years on his contract. If you do see him sold, I don't know. In my personal opinion, I don't know if they're going to have enough time to get a good package, but I think you get a package that is better than a Brendan Donovan package. Because Brendan Donovan was a good player. Ivan Herrera has more of a ceiling and has more power than Brendan Donovan. Now, he doesn't have the versatility defensively like Brendan Donovan, but he has the power and and he has an offense. He could be a superstar or a aircraft carrier in a lineup if he's right, which obviously he's not right now. But he's not a role player. He's going to be your 2, 3, or 4 hitter in a lineup. So it's interesting to see what Cardinals can get for him. Maybe you can get a prospect, like a top 100 prospect from a team. That would be huge, like the Cardinals did with Brendan Donovan, who, again, I think Ivan Herrera is a better player than Brendan Donovan. So I think if they do trade him, they'll get a package, but I think they wait till the off season to maybe make that trade, because I think they'll have more time, and Chaim Bloom will be able to read the room better than what he has. Has more time to read the room and figure out different packages and figure out what the best return is for him. Another name that has popped up is Pedro Pages. The Cardinals are looking to trade one of their catchers. So I don't think Pedro Pages gets you much. I think he gets you a bullpen arm, which I would be A-okay with. I wanted to trade Pedro Pages a year ago. Obviously, I'm joking, but I don't think Pedro Pages is good for this team. I think he's taking away Jimmy Crook's at-bats. And he's not in the long-term future of this team. He's a defensive first catcher, which he can't even block. But we're not even going to get into that. He can throw out runners. That's about it. And then the other one is Lars Nootbaar, who's been underperforming this year as well. But he's still above league average offensively with a 104 OPS plus. So 4% above league average. Let me see. Yes, 104. He had an off year last year. He did 96 OPS plus. But he is shown to be a guy that can get on base through walks. He has a great eye, and he can be a great role player for a certain team. And the Cardinals basically need to trade one of these guys. They need to trade an Ivan Herrera or Nootbaar to have a good trade deadline, in my opinion. Will I be mad if they don't trade both of these guys or either one of them? No, I wouldn't be mad. It would just mean they didn't get anything out of this trade deadline, because out of Dustin May, Jojo Romero, and Ryan Stanek, and I can throw Pedro Pages in there, you're not going to get anything. And that's about those are the 3 guys, Stanek, Romero, and Dustin May, that their contracts are given up after this year. So they're not going to get anything for those guys. Maybe you get something for Dustin May, but Romero's injured right now. Ryan Stanek has been terrible. So, and Dustin May, he had that stretch of great games, but he's shown that he's one of the most injury-prone pitchers in the league. And the past 2 years, he's not been injured. He's been not good. He has a 4-something ERA. Let's see this ERA real quick. His ERA right now it's not good. It is a 4.59 ERA. Ever since that complete game he's had, again, we had this talk last time. He had like a 9 ERA. I think he had a good start, but honestly, who wants to watch these games right now? We don't look competitive at all. So yeah, I think you're not going to get much for Dustin May. You're not going to get much for Jojo Romero because he's injured, and you're not going to get much for Ryan Stanek. But maybe if you were able to sell off Ivan Herrera, if Chaim Bloom's able to get Ivan Herrera off the books, and he can get like a huge haul. Maybe somebody overpays. That's one advantage that you have in the trade deadline. People will overpay sometimes. So maybe you can catch somebody overpaying for Ivan Herrera trying to make their big push for a big offensive bat. But that's the big news that's happened recently. So I'll keep you covered on what else transpires in the trade deadline that's coming up super soon. So anyways, that's the end of this video. Have a great rest of your day and be cautious watching Cardinals baseball. Bye. Surprise, I'm back. Timeout, I forgot to say one thing. Ivan Herrera is a big staple in this Cardinals lineup, obviously. He's lengthened this lineup. You have Weatherholt, you have Walker, you have Herrera, and Burleson. Obviously, it's tough to choose out of those four. You already gave the contract extension to Weatherholt. But the other three, who are you going to get a contract extension to? I think Walker's number one. Burleson might have moved himself up to 2 because given the trade talks. But if the Cardinals were to keep Ivan Herrera, I am not upset about it. I think he has a great bat. The Cardinals have he's come up through the Cardinals system. They did not trade for him. So I think Ivan Herrera is a great bat. The only reason why I think they're trying to trade him is they have a lot of catcher depth. They have Jimmy Crooks already up here. They have Leo Bernal in AAA, and they have maybe the biggest name, Rainiel Rodriguez, in AA right now, and he's 19 years old. They have all three of those guys waiting in the wings to take up the catcher position, which means Ivan Herrera is either going to have to learn a new position in the corner outfields or first base, or he's going to have to just sit as a DH, and I don't think the Cardinals are willing to pay that much money for a DH. But it's interesting to see what will transpire in the coming days on the trade deadline. But yeah, just a little snippet. I won't be mad if they trade him. I think if they extend him, I would be happy. But if they, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm okay with either way. Obviously, I love Ivan Herrera. It's going to sting, but I just want them to see. I want to see a great package in return. And I think Ivan Herrera is the kind of guy that gets you a big old package. Out of all these names that we've listed, he is the name that makes this trade deadline good and makes this trade deadline look at something and be like, okay, they won this deadline because of Ivan Herrera. So if he's not traded, you don't win a trade deadline, which is fine because you had no way to trade. But anyways, that's all I had to say. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.